Hello, welcome to BJA Today. I'm so glad you have the opportunity to sit with me today. I want you to relax and I want you to get a smile on your face because the man that I have here today is a special one. This is Mayor Vince Williams, the president and founder of greatness in Union City. That's how I have to say it. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, I'm serious about that. You move presidential. You really do. You move with such largeness, but you move with such compassion for our community. So I thank you for being who you are. You're a different kind of mayor.
I hear that always, but I'm just me. I'm just me. I was raised to be respectful, raised to be humble, but also raised to honor what God has gifted us to do. And certainly what I do, I love it.
You can tell. There's been a tremendous shift in Union City since you've been here. But I have to ask you, I know we've talked a couple of times about how we grew up and what we know is important. But when you walked into the office, when you were even contemplating before you won, what would your time be like as mayor of Union City? What did you want to do?
Well, one of the first things I wanted to do was to make sure that the opportunity that I envisioned before becoming mayor was going to be something that we could achieve. I knew we could, but it was going to take a lot of hard work. And one of the first things after that was to make sure we had the right team in place. And I think I have a winning team. We have done some tremendous things in these 4 short years. As I shared earlier this year, my State of the City address, when I came on as mayor, we were in a very, very scary place for some people who are not grounded in His Word.
Yes, exactly.
Because certainly I have to share with you, we were on the brink of financial ruin. Mm-hmm. And, regardless of who jumped ship and why they did it, it doesn't matter. I knew God was ready to use me as a vessel.
Now, I have to stop you right there
Okay.
because that is what makes you a different kind of mayor. We don't hear mayors professing their love for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We just don't hear that. But you've put that forefront and you've made it very clear that that is the character and integrity from which you move.
Yes.
Please tell me how in the world that is possible with the state of affairs that currently exist in our nation and in our world.
Well, I tell you, BJ, with my faith, knowing and in my knower that God is real and God does what He says He's going to do, that allows me to do what I know I need to do to make sure that I assist in what He wants to see manifest on this earth, but primarily manifested in this city. The Bible says we are a city on a hill.
Yes.
And for us to be a shining city on the hill, there are works that we must do. And certainly I am not ashamed of the gospel. I do get some funny looks and some quirks when people meet me before I start a meeting, wherever I am, regardless of who it is. It could be, I don't care who it is. We're going to pray.
Yes.
And that is different for some people, but some people are changed by that. And I just know that God is using me only as a vessel. This is not the Vince Williams show. I'm not putting on an act. I love what I do. I do it day in and day out. So it's common for me, if you will. It's not a script. I do what I do because I love what I do.
And it shows. You have an extraordinary team of people over there.
I do.
Now, when BJ Arnett can pick up the phone and go, "Hey, how you doing?" I just call over there and I get the warmest response every time. And I've watched them. Now, they don't know it, but I have watched them. I've watched to see, is it respecter of person? And it isn't. So I commend you for standing in the center of this fantastic group because you really do have some wonderful people over there. In the permit office, met some great folks over there. Your assistant, Cindy, awesome.
Yes, she
The
is.
lady who even answers the telephone when I call over there.
Miss Pat.
Miss Pat. I'll say, "How you doing?"
Yeah.
She says, "Oh." It always tickles me. But how important is it to have that kind of synergy in a city that is growing, that has been separated, it's obvious that something's going on in Union City.
It's very important, and you know, it is obvious. I'm beginning to understand the obviousness of it because I hear people all the time saying, you know, we see what's happening, we feel what's happening, and I say, yeah, come smell what the Rock is cooking. You know, so we're excited with what's happening, you know, but it is so important to have the right people in the right places. You know, we do business as any other municipality, and what I want our team to understand, we have a unique people, and in serving unique people, that means you have got to go out of your way to do certain things that they wouldn't customarily expect, you know,
Right.
because, you know, to be honest, we're living in a predominantly African American community. So there are things and levels that we must meet that address those needs and those concerns, whether it be someone disgruntled or upset about a water bill. Well, you don't have to fight with them over that.
Right.
There is a compassion that you must have
Yes.
in dealing with that. And usually when people perceive or feel that compassion that you're sharing with them, they can walk away, whatever the issue was, it was resolved. It may not have been resolved the way they wanted to have been, but everybody's okay with it.
See, that's just the beginning. Well, you guys, there's more where that came from. There is a strategy behind the way this man thinks. He just gave us the foundation. We're going to get more. But just know, as you listen, there is so much to learn from a man who has a center, a core, that is rooted and grounded in a man called Jesus.
Amen.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Your daughter is having trouble learning French. Do you A, hire a tutor,
Bonjour.
B, enforce a French-only rule at home, or C, watch some foreign films? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We're back with Mayor Vince Williams of Union City, Georgia. Mayor, talk to us about that synergy, that great team. How did you pull these people together, and what really makes that all happen so beautifully?
Well, I tell you, you know, many of the folks that are on the team, and especially the top leadership, they were already in the city. Our city manager, she was our operations person. You know, before I became mayor, she was our operations person. Our finance director, you know, who is probably our second in command, if you will, right under the city manager. She was our comptroller, you know, so she knew the business of finances, but she wasn't given free rein to do and utilize those skills. I noticed, you know, and this was at the departure of my predecessor. Certainly we worked well together. You know, we didn't agree on things, and that's okay, you know, but my suggestion was that, you know, because we had a city manager that was leaving, I said, well, you know, we shouldn't do this spending money that we don't have.
Right,
to
in the
do a
first place.
search to find somebody else. We got capable people in hand, you know, that are on the team right now. And Miss Sonia Fillingame, you know, I fought for that. I had members who didn't want to support that. Certainly my predecessor didn't want to support it. But as I told her, I said, Sonia, I believe in you. If you can just hold on, just hold on. I know God has a plan for us to do something great here in Union City. And she came on board initially once the shift started to happen. You know, so we started moving, bringing in those folks that needed to be there. We identified people that were already in cracks and crevices in the city, you know, who were just looking for an opportunity to shine. So we have certainly, you know, and certainly we did find people who weren't there, but they have become a part of the team, and it has just meshed into one of the greatest teams, if you will, you know, next level type teams that has created a synergy in all of Metro Atlanta. I got folks who are trying to steal my people daily.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I've heard about it.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
what's funny to me is that,
Yeah.
you know, people that I work with in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and especially within the entertainment industry, are saying, what's going on over there? Who's doing that?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
bring up your name.
Yeah.
I do. I bring up your name. Because as business owners, my husband and I here in Union City, we saw such a difference, such a breath of fresh air, if you will. We saw people actually exhale.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and you are doing something in this city that really is working. But Mayor, how in the world have you been the lead drummer for all of this entertainment, film and television right here
Well,
in our backyard?
Well, I tell you, you know, that is another blessing. You know, as many know, and certainly you know, and having the Shannon Mall, the Union Station Mall, whatever we want to call it, that was a dead
It was so dead.
cancer
Yes.
on our backs.
Yeah.
And when I say our, the city's back, it wasn't paying any taxes or anything. It was just
Wow.
sitting there. And that is the city's front door. And we were trying to decide, you know, what are we going to do? You know, I mean, we had a beautiful comp plan that probably wouldn't have come to fruition in the next 20 to 30 years.
Wow.
But we needed to do something immediately.
And there was a plan to renovate,
There
and
was a
the city
plan.
owning it, and all of that. And I
Exactly, you know,
remember that.
But city didn't have the money.
The money to-
You know, as I said, you know, a lot of folks didn't know we were on the brink.
Yes.
You know, we were on the brink. And, you know, but in making something happen, I started getting out in the streets, knocking on doors, meeting people, having meetings with folks. And I had a man, John Rooker, you know, he and I met. And as a matter of fact, I was no longer on the council at the time because I had to give up my seat to run for the office of mayor.
Right.
But the current council that was there in place, they asked me, they said, please continue to do what you're doing. And I did it, you know, I mean, I could have said, y'all do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I'm
no,
over it.
it was for all of us.
Yes.
You know, so John saw that what this crazy fellow on the south side was talking about, it might really work. And we met Ed and Brian. They had an idea to do something different because they were in the runnings for Fort McPherson.
Oh, for that property.
They were in the runnings. You know, it was Tyler Perry, Ed and Brian, and several other groups. So they decided to pull out of that because they felt like, you know, it's
It
going
was
to
gonna
go
be
to
to
Tyler.
Tyler.
You know?
Yes.
So once we pulled together, and I did have a lot of folks in the community who did not want to see a film studio there.
Really?
Did not want to see.
Oh, my
They
goodness.
couldn't imagine, you know. But I was trying to share with people, this is going to be huge.
And
this
it's
is going
so-
to create such an economic
An
development
economic
lift.
development lift that attaches directly with the governor's tax initiatives. It's so perfect.
Let me tell
and
you,
so
BJ,
needed.
yeah, from that, I started getting calls from the governor's office, you know, and started getting appointments. I had people saying, you know, how in the heck
That's okay.
did he get
Right.
an appointment by
Yeah.
the
yeah,
governor?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't seeking that. I was just doing what God called me to do.
And your greatness in what
God
he
will
puts you to
open up
do.
windows of opportunity, but He
Oh.
will place you before men and women that you never imagined that you would be in front of.
Yeah.
You know, He creates those opportunities. It's just up to us to do those things. But with the film industry, it has opened up so much opportunity with existing business that's in the city. You know, our hairstylists, our barbers, our dry cleaners, the restaurants. We're getting more restaurants. I'm meeting every day folks who are ready to come and finally do business. People have asked, you know, well, when are we
Over
going
and
to get this?
over.
When are we going to get
Yes.
that? You have to get people to understand restaurants don't just come to your area. Hotels don't just come just to sit in your area. You know, so when you get the realization of that, you got to figure out, okay, what can we do to start attracting these things that will come here?
Now the door is open.
The door is open.
The story gets better and better from here, you guys. You've been asking yourself, how do I benefit from an industry that's booming? We are now, as a state, 9.2 billion. See, we both are excited about it. Do you hear that? So how do you get involved? It's not just the film studio. There's the peripheral businesses all around it. We're going to talk about that next, so stay with us.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors.
Come on, that's it. Let's go.
So it's the industry you always wanted to be a part of. Your 15 minutes of fame, it's here. But you've got to come south side to make it happen with Mayor Vince Williams and Union City. Mayor, we're talking about how the peripheral businesses get an opportunity to also gain from this boom of billions and billions of dollars in Georgia. It's happening right here on the south side, where they said it would never happen.
Never happen, exactly. You know, this is an opportunity not only for us to see these noted actors and actresses in our community, but for also us to be able to gain employment, but build careers, if you will. Many of our local dry cleaners, you know, think about that. You know,
my dad was a dry cleaner, so this hits me.
And when you think, you know, when I think about my household, you know, yeah, I go and get shirts and suits cleaned, but when you think about the film industry, I mean, they were filming a TV show, 24 Legacy there.
Yes.
They were using 3 and 4 local dry cleaners to take care of all of the dry cleaning that they need to take care of. The hairstylists, the manicurists, the grocery stores, the restaurants, the hotels, everybody feels that impact. You know, so it's great.
Impact.
Yeah.
You know, we started seeing our Kroger change.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, there was, I didn't have to make a phone call.
No, you didn't.
You know, I'm watching the changes.
Right,
I said,
right.
okay, there's something happening. Our dry cleaner, as you said, recognized not only does he have this studio across the street, but he also recognizes that he has caps in his own backyard. We were like, oh, okay.
That's right.
We're watching people really thrive. Hairstylists who always wanted their business to survive are now seeing a shift.
Right.
But that just doesn't happen. And I recognize that. What did you do on that grassroots level that allowed the big studio to actually move into the community? Because they don't have to.
Well, they don't have to, but it takes some arm twisting, if you will.
So some encouragement.
What I shared with them was, you know, certainly I support this. I want to see it happen. I'm going to take it to my council, but there's caveats.
Yes.
You know, and I want to make sure that the businesses that I know they need, which are already in my city, that you utilize those folks. I can't make you hire them. I understand that.
Right.
But I do want them to have an opportunity. And it has really benefited and manifested like wildfire throughout not only Union City, but all of South Fulton. Everybody is talking about the change, but also the opportunity that continues to grow in this area. Atlanta Metro Studios, they are booked for the next 3.5 years right now with projects.
Ed Richards,
that means,
he is the grinningest man I've ever seen.
Yes, he is. Yes.
He and Brian just grinning all the time. Because this was a dream for them.
Exactly. Exactly.
And to see your dream come to pass in such a massive way.
Yes, indeed.
But it was
the largest film studio in North America. Not in Georgia.
Not in Georgia.
Not in Union City.
Not in Union City.
In the world.
I
in
love
North
it.
America right now.
I love it.
So we're excited about it.
When you think of all the things that could have been, had you not taken that leap of faith to run for mayor, kind of makes you
Well,
pause.
and it really does. But I tell you, when I knew God was urging me it was my time.
Yeah.
I knew that. As a member of the council, I saw things that, as I shared earlier, that I didn't agree with, but I was only one vote at the time.
Right.
As mayor, I don't have a vote unless there's a tie.
Right.
But I have the power of influence as the mayor now.
Yes.
So now I have a council that totally supports what I bring to them. And I keep nothing hidden, so we have a great working relationship. But I tell you, there were things that were being done when I was on the council. I mean, there was this community building in my city that wanted to do something I thought was outstanding. They wanted to just paint a mural on their building. And I'm sure you know the building.
I do know the building.
So that really bothered me, but it was only one vote.
One vote.
Yeah.
But
now.
But God.
But God. Don't start
I
now.
love it. Like, we'll be jumping up and
start-
down.
yeah.
There's so much wonderful things that have happened since you've been in office. And I look at our total community, and when I say our total, like every community, there's some great things and there's some things that they're working on.
Right,
But
right.
I'm watching you pull in leadership from all over the South Fulton area,
That's what's
and
key.
especially Union City,
Yeah.
and say, hey, what do we need to do to make things better?
Yeah.
And you are pouring into our young people, and I'm a mama,
Yes,
so
yes, yes.
I have to say, what is happening for our young people is outstanding.
Yeah.
Now, how do we, as the community, better support, better get the word out? What do we need to do as the community of Union City?
Well, I tell you right now, the best way to get the word out is so you can be armed with the word of Union City, if you will, is to go to our city's website. Go to the city's website, find out what we're doing. We're doing something each and every week to make sure that we bring community together. We're about to embark on a groundbreaking for our very first community center in this city. Union City has never had an enclosed gymnasium. So now we have a place for our young people to play ball indoors, but also host tournaments and different things like that, cheerleading camps, but educational opportunities as well. So there's going to be a boardroom there, there's going to be community rooms. So this is an opportunity for us to continue to celebrate, but also watch the manifestation from what this will do for our children, because many of us were exposed to community centers.
Yes, we were. We grew
and
up
I
knowing
found it
it.
strange that there was not one here to be able to harness that energy that our young people have, but deserve to be able to exert, in a conducive area.
I have to say to you, congratulations. Not a job well done, because you're not going anywhere. Okay, we just won't let you know. Quiet as it's getting.
Yeah.
But there is an excitement for what your leadership style and what you're doing for the community, and the community's excitement is showing. So thank you.
Thank
for
you.
being who you're called to be. And we're going to watch you grow through the website right here in Union City. And if you haven't tapped into the website, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
You want to be involved with what is really happening. There's growth in your community. There's change occurring. Now, you can either sit back and say, I don't see anything, or you can just jump on board and get involved.
Amen.
Just jump on board.
Jump on board.
We love it,
Yes,
right?
indeed.
Mayor Vince Williams, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
And-
being the greatest leadership that we've seen in Union City.
Wow.
And blessed by God, we're just
you.
so glad that you give him the credit.
Well, I'm looking forward to another 4 years, and I know God has already positioned the victory, so I'm excited about what we will be doing over these next 4 years.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And congratulations, Union City. Stand up, show yourself proud. You're doing it out there worldwide. I'm BJ Arnett. We love you. Thank you.